On today's film room, we're taking a look at Michigan defensive end Aiden Hutchinson. We're looking at a Heisman finalist, a guy who has dominated college football this year and gone from, a first round pick to now potentially being the number one overall pick and bypassing Kayvon Thibodeau, who was long considered to be the best player in this class. So if you're not familiar with these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at the different clips from Aiden Hutchinson's game here against Washington to kind of showcase the type of prospect that he is. So let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and let's get started. Whenever you watch Aiden Hutchinson, the first thing that really has to jump out to you is just his overall playmaking ability. No matter who the opponent is, whether it's Ohio State, here against Washington, Michigan State, he's always making plays. And on this clip, he's lined up at the top of the screen in a 2-point stance. And Washington's going to try and block him with a tackle. And he's going to come out. He's not necessarily even firing off the ball. It's not like he's firing off the ball, trying to win with speed. He just comes and kind of almost reads this tight end. And then as he sees that it's a pass, he just balls out and drives the tight end all the way back into the quarterback. As we see here, reads, can't get past him. I'll just take him to the quarterback and get that. Wasn't a sack, but his hit helped lead to a Michigan interception. And it's all because of his raw power, his explosiveness, and just this ability to kind of make plays even when he's not in the best position to do so. Now, in the previous clip, I talked about how Hutchinson didn't have to, he didn't explode off the ball, and he was able to read and react. In this play, he does explode off the ball. And here he is at the bottom of the screen in a 2-point stance again. And Washington's going to run the ball away. And for some reason, I get it. A lot of times you leave the backside defensive end unblocked. But that's not a great move with Aiden Hutchinson, because here, not only does he show his explosiveness, but he shows his ability to time the snap, get the tackle for the loss, and force the fumble. And it's all done with his athletic traits, his explosiveness, his timing, and just his aggressiveness to get into that backfield. Yeah, he's unblocked, but he still makes that play. He still gets into the backfield. He still forces that fumble and gets his offense the ball back. So I just showed you Hutchinson's explosiveness, his speed. On this play, I want to show you his power. And here he is at the bottom of the screen. He's actually working against Washington's left tackle, Jackson Kirkland, a guy that I really like. I think he's a potential top 15 pick. And Hutchinson makes him look silly. And at the snap, Hutchinson's able to engage with him, drive him back, put him on skates. And Kirkland does a good job just, still staying in front of him. But then Hutchinson's able to use a club and then just bend around him to get that sack. And so as we see, speed, little club, and then just that agility to go laterally, to bend at the ankles, and to get around him to finish with this sack. It's one thing to push your tackle back and force the quarterback up into a teammate. It's another thing to not only push him back, make him step up in the pocket, and still finish with the sack. And that's because of Hutchinson's agility and his motor and his length, really. His length to be able to reach out and grab a hold of the Washington quarterback to bring him to the ground. And it's just an amazing play we have here. Is just the power and the agility that you see it. And it's plays like this, and it's these combinations of these two traits that make a player potentially go number one overall. Now, what I really like about this clip is it shows a couple different things. It shows Aiden Hutchinson's quickness, but it also shows his motor. And one of the things that top pass rushers have is not only are they elite athletes, but your true stud guys, they never stop. And that's what you see here out of Hutchinson. He's at the top of the formation. Lined up, what is that, about the 7 ish technique. He's shading the outside, maybe a step outside of the right tackle. And at the snap, he's got to come down. He's got to honor the run. They have a fullback trying to block him. And he's able to then just use his quickness to blow past him. Once again, he's practically untouched coming to the quarterback. The quarterback has to go up. And Hutchinson's not able to make this play, but he doesn't give up. Goes around another lineman to make that sack. And it's just that quickness to get around the fullback, and then just that motor to not give up. There's defensive ends, pass rushers that would have stopped right here and just watched as maybe someone else would have got him, or he would have gone through. I mean, look at this hole we have right here. There's room to run. If he gets through here, he could potentially get at least past the first down or the line of scrimmage. But Aiden Hutchinson's able to stick with it and tackle him for a sack. And it's just remarkable, his combination of this explosiveness and the agility combined with the motor is another reason why he's so successful and such a dominant player this year in college football. Now we see that motor and the tenacity once again on this play. Hutchinson's going to push outside, and Kirkland does a good enough job on him, getting his hands on him, sliding laterally to cut him off. But Hutchinson doesn't quit there. He spins back to the inside, still not necessarily beating him, but once again, doesn't quit, doesn't give up, and continues to work and is able to then help get that half sack. It's not like he got them all on his own, but I just love this tenacity, the aggressiveness, the non-quit, and that's why Hutchinson has gotten 14 sacks on the season. It's because plays like this where he says, I'm not going to keep going until there's no chance, and he ends up, because of good coverage, because the quarterback is having to move around, there's no one to pass to, Hutchinson's effort and motor get him the sack. It's a coverage sack, but he still got it. Now, we've looked at several different plays from Aiden Hutchinson, and we've seen him win with speed. We've seen him win with quickness. We've seen him win with power. But what about, we've seen him even use a club move. But what about his other moves? And in this play, Hutchinson's been going off the edge practically all game long, pushing the edge, pushing the outside. And on this play, he's going to push like he's going to the edge, but then he's going to then cut back inside. Kirkland's having to get outside to cut him off, So Hutchinson counters by going inside, blows right past, splits the potential double team with the left guard coming over to try and help, and gets into the backfield. It's just that the quarterback had already seen it, fled, and was able to get the pass away. But I like this play because it shows Hutchinson, being able to read, saying, hey, this guy's going outside. He's got me beat there. I'll just put my foot down, cut back inside, use my speed and my power to burst through this block attempt and, get a quarterback hurry there. Now, every clip that I've shown so far has been basically Aiden Hutchinson rushing the passer. The first clip was him flying off the edge to get a tackle for loss. But for the most part, it's all been his aggressiveness and his ability to get to the ball. This clip, what I like, is it shows his ability to play the run and set the edge. One of the things you have to do as a defensive end is you got to set the edge. You got to, hold up, try to force the running back inside to where your teammates are. And that's what he does here. Now, he's not going to actually make any tackles or anything on this play, but he's able to come up, take on the tight end, basically got a double team coming with the left tackle, and he's able to hold his spot, bend the tight end back, and he's in a position. Yes, the running back goes up the middle for no gain, but Hutchinson's ability, he's ready to play. He's in a position that if the ball does come outside or it comes off to the gap to his inside, he's in a position to shed and make that play. And he does that with good hand placement, good power, and good leverage at the point of attack. There is a lot to like about Aiden Hutchinson as an NFL draft prospect. And we saw it here on these clips. Not only is he 6'6" and 265 pounds, he moves like a guy that's like 6'3", 230 pounds. He's explosive off the edge. He can change direction easily. He's got good power. And so he's the total package. You look at a guy like him and you see, the Bosa brothers, those guys. And Hutchinson, in my opinion, looks bigger, plays bigger. And those guys are having a ton of success with the Chargers and the 49ers. And I think Aiden Hutchinson is a guy that can have a lot of immediate success in the NFL as well. And at this point, I think he's a lock top 5 pick. And I don't like to make grand predictions and projections like that. But Aiden Hutchinson has the makings of a special player. His size, his speed, his power, his explosiveness, his agility, he's got it all. And his decision to come back for his senior year was a tremendous decision for him. I mean, he probably was going to be a first-round pick last year, but the season that he had, finishing with 14 sacks in the regular season and conference championship game, I mean, in the biggest games he shined. When they played Michigan State, even though they lost, he had a big impact. He had multiple sacks. Against Ohio State, whenever NFL scouts want to see Aiden Hutchinson's tape, the first game that they're going to go to is Ohio State. And he was credited by Pro Football Focus with 15 pressures in that game, which is the most they've had in the last, 10 or so years since they started charting college pressures. And he's come up in the biggest games. He's produced in the biggest games. He's got production. He's got athletic traits. He's got size. Teammates rave about him. Coaches rave about him. He has it all. So at this point, I think the debate really is he the number 1 overall pick in the draft? And I think it's going to come down to him and Kayvon Thibodeaux, another defensive end from Oregon. And I like both players a lot. I have Thibodeaux as my number 1 rated player in this draft. But I could definitely see Aiden Hutchinson being that number 1 overall pick. And especially if it is the Detroit Lions. It has nothing to do with the Lions being in Michigan. I think Aiden Hutchinson is a perfect fit for what Dan Campbell wants. He wants attitude. He wants aggressiveness. He wants nasty. And you have that in Aiden Hutchinson. And that's not a knock at Kayvon Thibodeaux. So I think Kayvon Thibodeaux would be tremendous in that defense as well. But Hutchinson just, to me, screams what they're trying to build in Detroit. And that's why I think he's going to be the number 1 overall pick in the draft, especially if the Detroit Lions are picking with that first overall pick. So that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this episode of The Film Room. I hope you all enjoyed it. The best way to get these is to subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to get all the notifications when I get new videos popping up. While you're at it, go to my social media, draft_Brian. Whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you do your social media, I'm there. So make sure you follow me there. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time.